I am excited that we are back here for our MEWC and MECC World Finals.
For 2 days, instead of only 16 people, we now have almost 200 people playing at the stage, on the stage. So amazing.
Here we go, 5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
All right, Oz Giles.
Away we
Once
go.
again, take us to school.
We will do. And look, we don't have favorites, guys, but we got given these amazing Dim Slayer hats.
Dim Slayer.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, Oz, this is a tough case.
It is. It is.
A really tough case.
And previously I made reference to the boogeyman, right? And in Brazil is Bishop Papau. Now, we just saw Bishop Papau cleanse me.
Yeah.
Because I have gone through...
Dim good. All right, Dim is setting up some named ranges. That's going to help him out in the future. So that's map 1, by the way. Temple 1, definitely the easiest because you're going to be doing a lot of things, moving from a starting to an ending cell.
Interesting lambda that he's put together.
Yeah, so that's a quick way of getting all of the counts of all of the different, well, essentially like figures, emojis, very, very quickly.
Go from Australia to Canada.
Where's
Is the
it
belt
going, guys?
going
Come on,
from
let's hear some
Australia
noise
to
from the
Canada?
audience.
All right, let's see. 10
Where are we
seconds
going?
left. 10 seconds.
Come on.
Anything. Is anything going to happen?
Can anybody throw a Leroy Jenkins out in the last few seconds?
Leroy Jenkins.
Come on,
All
Leroy.
right.
Michael Jarman.
Look at that. Look
Takes
at that.
the win.
Look at that.
Oh.
Michael Jarman. Michael Jarman.
All those years of training
Oh,
have
look.
come.
Yeah.
Belt, you have earned it. Congratulations, my friend.
Okay, welcome everybody to this Excel Ninja Battle, a fast-paced game of Excel skills and logical thinking. So my name is Alan Murray, and I have my flamboyant co-host here, Giles. Giles is a career-long financial modeler. He is the co-founder of the Full Stack Modeler training platform, and the self-proclaimed, as you can see, extremely humble Microsoft MVP. Glad to have you with me, Giles. How you doing?
Alan, I woke up this morning and I had one question for myself, and that was, when does a joke get old? And the answer was, not today, Alan. Not today. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Alan is an awesome MVP, author of 2 books, founder of Computer Gaga. Alan, can't wait to get started. Have we not been picked up for like a Head and Shoulders campaign yet?
That is a mystery. And another joke that will never get old. Is it time for the case animation?
Probably. I'm here for the vibes. Let's have a look. Yes, it's time for the case animation. Let's go to that.
Global Excel Summit 2025. We are glad to present you the case for the battle. Excel Ninja, designed by Andrew Grigolunovich, the founder of FMWC. This is an exciting sub-format for Excel esports competition, being inspired by TV shows that feature athletes going through a sequence of obstacles. You are presented with a grid that has 100 columns and 1,000 rows. Each cell on the board, except one, contains a chess piece. The chess pieces can be white or black. Additionally, they are also assigned point values according to the table to the right. Your goal is to answer a total of 12 questions to reach the finish line within the 10-minute time frame or faster. The questions will be increasing in difficulty as you work. You will see only one question at a time, and you can't skip the sequence. If you get stuck and run out of time, then your result is the number of questions you have correctly answered. Plan your strategy wisely. Good luck!
Hello, welcome back. And I'd like to welcome our first contestant, which is Pieter Pienaar. He's a trainee at the University of Pretoria and was a runner-up at last year's Microsoft Excel Collegiate Championship. Welcome, Pieter.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
How are you feeling about the case? You looking forward to this?
Yeah, it's always good to do these cases. It's only through experience that you can get to Jarman and Michael's level. So anything that boosts the experience is always a win.
Awesome. So are you feeling ready for this?
Hopefully, yeah. Let's see what happens.
Ready as you are, right? Okay.
All right. Well, I think we're going to introduce the second player. So the second player is
I think Pieter goes first, does he?
Oh, sorry. Ignore me, Pieter. Yeah, totally different format. Pieter, you're going to go first.
Okay.
Do we roll into the game?
I think we do. Maybe we should count down, Alan. Should we do like a 3, 2, 1?
Go for it.
3,
2.
I really hope this works. 1. Go!
Yeah.
Oh, phew.
The magic words, Giles.
All right. Alan, should we talk about the format of this case? So it's very different to a normal battle, isn't it?
Yes. Go for it. You start off, Giles, and I'll fill in any gaps you miss.
Yeah, so the competitors are going to go one by one. They have got 10 minutes to get through as many of the 12 questions as possible. Pieter is flying through them. I was not this fast. So you only find out the next question once you've solved the previous one. So you can see on row 39, that's showing him what the question is. This is a huge map of chess pieces, 1,000 rows, and I don't know how many columns, but a lot.
100,
so you can see, so he's having to look at what that next question is. You can see that at the start of a point board in the top right that he's going to have to start referring to as he goes through this question, through these questions. Were there any things that you kind of stumbled with as you practiced this, Alan?
Well, so in the latter stages, I mean, at the point that Pieter is shooting through at the moment, it wasn't so bad. I think you just referenced the kind of little lookup table in the top right, which is off screen at the moment. Which has got information about the different chess pieces and how many points they can score, and also their colour, as there are white and black pieces on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a few sneaky things in here.
Yes, I'm just trying to figure out what question Pete's on. And here we go. So we're going into question 5. And he's done it. Good stuff.
Incredibly quick. Hopefully you can still hear me. I just had something going on. So there's a few sneaky things. There's a blank cell within this huge map of chess pieces, which is going to cause some issues at some stage. Some of the top part of this workbook is protected as well. So it's not like you can just start using some of those rows underneath this section you can see. And I wonder whether that's going to catch anyone out at all.
True, yeah. And there are, because this file is protected to lockdown down, that does mean that they can't do things like bring in any pre-made lambdas. But you can see Pieter is using a lambda on the fly for that, so using the map function there.
Yeah, well, I think out of kind of all the competitors you could have in the world, these 4 are probably some of the best who can deal with some of these things on the fly. What do you think?
Yeah, I would expect so. And in my experience doing this, I mean, I think I did the question Pieter just did without a lambda, using XLOOKUP on its own, but some of the latter ones I did deploy, and I actually used the same one as Pieter just did, the map function.
Yeah. Did you get to question 12, which I thought was actually quite tricky?
I got to question 12. I did not solve question 12. Okay. That was extremely tricky. And just for everyone to know, so everyone has 10 minutes to complete this. You see, you've got a little over 6.5 minutes left for Pieter here, so he's flying through. And if they don't complete it all, then the 10 minutes are up and they finish where they finish. And we're just doing a bit of difficult in question 7 here, are we, Giles?
Yeah, we are. So I think there's 1 or 2 that are kind of trickier than others. 1 or 2, you have to reference the whole map, and depending on how you approach it, if you're trying to use XLOOKUP, that can cause you some issues. I'll give a huge shout out to Elliot Patterson, who's been talking me through some of the finer details of that today. And I think that might be what Pieter is stumbling across here. So he's turning to a map to try and get around that.
Yes, so he's trying to find out how many points all the pieces are worth on the board. Remember, this is 100 columns wide and 1,000 rows deep team. Oh, and he's just done it.
Yeah, so I think we would probably expect these competitors to get pretty close to finishing this, if not finishing all 12 levels. And then it really just comes down to who does it the fastest. But, these guys are very experienced under battle conditions, which I can tell you from some limited first-hand experience now is quite something. It's quite a skill to stay calm when you've got this sort of time pressure on you.
Oh, for sure. It is the skill I do not have, and the reason you do not see me here, Giles, apart from this side of the fence.
Yes. So I think there's a couple of things. I think for quite a lot of these cases, really good knowledge of something like XLOOKUP and some of the additional kind of parameters that you've got in the syntax can be very, very useful. But again, you can get around a few of these questions in various ways. Map being one of them. I think when I was practicing this, I turned to things like by row and by col as an alternative. But Pieter seems to be doing just fine with his own approach.
Yes. And it's difficult with this, the question in the top half. Every time they move, we can't see what question they're on. But he is taking a different approach to what I did. Seen him doing things like count if. I saw an OR function a moment ago, but he has completed them.
Yeah, so I think some of these later questions are actually probably a step down in difficulty, and then it picks back up again for question 12. Question 12, I think he's going to get to it reasonably quickly. Question 12 is kind of like a typical map question where you've got to identify something in a cell and then look at what the items are around that cell. It'll be interesting to see how they approach that, because, as I said, the top part of the worksheet is protected. You could actually use the space underneath, but I just didn't even think to look there when I was practicing this.
Again, I think you just saw it. He's trying to find the empty cell at the moment.
Yeah,
I did just see it on the screen, so I thought we had it.
So I think when I was looking at this, I was trying to use things like is blank, and there's a few other ways you can get from there to find the kind of cell reference. You could create a sort of grid reference, a map itself of all the cell and row references. You could do a kind of double X match and kind of return it that way. But yeah, interesting to see what he's doing here actually.
And he did have it. He put in the 888 there, which was the row number. He was just finding the column. He's past that.
So he's done that manually, right? So I think there's a few questions here where you could kind of eyeball it. I am assuming he just manually kind of identified the blank cell and then typed those two parts in, right?
Yeah, he was brute forcing with some Control F there, I think, to locate it and then put it in.
Here we go, right. So on question 12, I think this is the hardest one. This is the one where ideally you need to create a sort of helper map. So you're going to have to use the space to create another 1,000 rows. I think he's thinking hard because he may not have spotted that you can use the block underneath. So you can't use any pre-built lambdas. You can't create named. Okay. I think he's maybe just solved his own headache there. He's found that you can use the cells off to the side, which is great.
So this Trev wants to know, this last question here is trying to find out how many white kings are being checked by a black queen. And what that means is that at least one black queen is located next to the white king. So like Giles said, he's trying to locate, a piece like around another piece, if that helps explain it at all.
Yeah, which these guys will be really, really familiar with. So this is quite a common sort of map-based question where you've got to identify what's in a cell, and then you've got to kind of also identify what's in all the surrounding cells. So you've got to do both. It's got to hit both arguments. Oh, look at the tension here. We've got some serious stress going on Pieter's face. I'm loving this.
DBS's first map, I guess.
Well, I think what he's going to probably try and do first is just identify the white knights. But you see, he's basically going to have to reproduce that entire grid of chess pieces over to the right-hand side. Yeah, so look, he's had to find the sort of the emoji for the white knight. That's half of the argument for this. He's got, 90 seconds, 80 seconds left. He's going to have to figure out now whether any of those true arguments also have sort of second true argument, that is, are they surrounded by a black queen? And that's what he's working on now. To be honest, with a minute left, I think he might get this. You can get the logic right.
60 seconds to go. And unfortunately, this contest's been quite different. You either get it or you don't, unlike our usual battles where there's multiple questions per kind of stage that you can pick up little points along the way.
Okay, so I think he's okay. So he's bringing in the emoji for the black queen, and now okay, so he's got a bit of and you can see like the count-if range is 3 cells deep and wide. So you've got to try and find that black knight somewhere in that kind of first area, 1 cell around the main cell you're in. So he's got 15 seconds left. He's very close. Very, very close. Is he going to get there?
Tense moments, final 10.
Very tense, in particular, because I can't see that. There we go. The countdown is going down.
Yeah, it's still. And that looks like it's okay, Pieter. How did you find that?
It was better than last year's case that I tried, but
yeah, I think
I don't know what I did wrong in this last one.
No, I think Giles was thinking you were getting pretty close to it at the end. I think if you had another 30 seconds.
I got 6. Oh, we didn't copy all the way down.
Yeah. No, you flew through the first lot though.
Oh well. Yeah, they were not necessarily difficult, but to understand exactly what they want under the pressure and to not make a stupid mistake. Something you look back on and think, I shouldn't have done that. That's usually the difficult part of this question. It's a reading competition, actually. But it was a good case. I really enjoyed it.
Sure. I think some of the questions kind of back to back are quite similar, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, you definitely didn't look stupid, so you did really well. You're almost there. I mean, it's very important never to look stupid in this industry more than anything. So well done.
Indeed. And you would know more about that than most, eh, Giles?
Maybe. All right, thanks, Peter. So I think we're going to move on to our second player who doesn't really need any introduction, but we will give him one. It's the LeBron James of Excel, Diarmuid Early himself, who's feeling a little bit under the weather. Didn't stop him beating me in a speed run yesterday, which I think I've forgiven him for now. Dim, how you feeling, illness-wise and in general?
I'm feeling a little lousy today, but, life in general is pretty good.
Yeah, good. Well, are you feeling confident about this kind of speed run approach, ninja battle, 12 questions, 10 minutes?
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, I think we should find out is the answer to that, shouldn't we? All right, Alan, would you like to do the honors and give the 3-second countdown?
All right. So in 3, 2, and 1, let's go.
Right.
Okay, so off we go.
The first question you can literally just eyeball, and I think a few of these you could do that. There's a couple where, for anybody watching, the questions need a little bit of thinking in terms of interpretation, because you've got column and row references for the grid of chess pieces, but they're not the same as the Excel references for columns and rows. So you have to kind of think through whether it's asking for one or the other. Dim is flying through this. So question 4 already, XLOOKUP coming in. Very nice.
Yep, both contestants deploying XLOOKUP so far, which is expected. And yeah, on Giles's point, this question, if Dim's still on it and he's not moved past already, he's asking about column AA, but of the board, not the sheet.
I think that caught both of us out when we were individually practicing this, didn't we? Like, you kind of look at it and go, oh, hang on, the reference is wrong. It's not giving you the right answer. But actually, it's talking about the chessboard reference, not the Excel reference.
There's some more XLOOKUP and sums going on, which is...
Yeah, it's quite hard to actually finish a sentence without Dim moving on to the next question. So we're going to talk really quickly. What's he on now? Is he on question 7?
7, yeah. And
so again, one of the questions, I think it's question 7 that he's on. Maybe it will make him pause a little bit, because you can't, XLOOKUP's a little bit funny with treating 2-dimensional ranges. So because you're looking at a whole board, you have to do something about that. Again, huge shout out to Elliot Patterson, who's been teaching me all of the little intricacies of XLOOKUP today. He's got some awesome videos on XLOOKUP on his YouTube, if you didn't know that already. I think Dim has just solved that, and he's now moved on to question 8.
XLOOKUP and sum.
Yeah, so question 8, depending on how you answered, I think question 6, you could tweak your approach to question 6, or you could take a completely different approach. I think you might be doing a tweak.
I did quite a bit of tweaking in my go. So now he's just looking for how many white pieces in only the first row of the board. Anyone who's struggling to read that question there. Teeny tiny font. And there we go, number 8 done.
Yeah, okay.
How many white pawns are there anywhere on the board?
So again, I think those 2 questions just before the last one aren't too bad. Actually, it feels like a bit of a kind of step down in difficulty from some of the early ones, but then it kind of lures you into a false sense of security, because question 12 does. I mean, to be honest, Dim, out of everybody that I know that is alive today, probably could do it in one cell with a ridiculous lambda. But let's see. Do you want to take bets, Alan? Is he going to go for question 12 by making a map, or just show off and do it in one cell with about 50 lines of code?
I'm going to say he's going to make a map, as he's a little bit under the weather. Right, how are we doing here? This is a completely different approach to, I think, what I've seen anyone do so far.
Yeah.
And this is him looking for the empty cell on the board. We have to return the address of that cell. Remember the board address.
So he's definitely not eyeballing it. He was trying. Okay. I think he ended up just finding it manually and typing it in, to be honest. Question 11, how many black pieces are there on the board? I think, is it the whole board? Board in total? Yep.
Yep, already done. So now we've got 6 minutes on that final question.
Right, so let's just see what his approach is going to be. I'm going to guess he's going to build I think he'll build a reference map. Like you say, he's under the weather. If it was him and Bo kind of on screen, they'd probably be challenging each other to do it in one cell. But I think he's having a good think, though.
And you can see, for everyone watching, well, you can't see it at the moment, he's moved off, but there are two little icons under the question. So the icons are provided for you to reference in these questions. And he's just clicked on now.
So clearly, because he went over to the right-hand side again, just like Pieter, he is going to be creating a reference grid 1,000 rows deep. And what did you say, 100 columns wide, was it?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So there's two sets of logic. Is the cell you're in a white king, and is there a black queen anywhere around that cell? And if you're a bit like an and kind of bit of logic, if both of those are true, you're going to get an answer, and then you can sum all of those results. And he's done it. Okay, 5 minutes. That's it. Get the
Absolutely
earlier than I
ridiculous.
thought tonight. My God. Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Here's him.
I've got frozen screens. I
Same
will
here.
keep talking until I hear that Dim can hear me.
Oh,
Dim, can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you
He's
now.
back.
I just
Hello.
arrived.
Excellent. How was that for you?
That was not too bad.
Yeah. Okay. We were debating how you would approach question 12, whether you'd go for an all-in-one lambda or actually use a reference grid.
I mean, I realized even a couple of times as I was doing the questions that I was like trying to be too like when it asked me what color is this white castle, and I was like, oh, let me just do a look up here. I'm like, come on, just write in white. You're being stupid. So yeah, I decided not to be too smart for my own good on that one. I was staring at it for a minute, thinking like, wait, checking doesn't only mean right next to, but then I guess yes, when the board is full, it kind of does. So, yeah.
I think I saw you do that when you had to find the
I decided
blank
to keep it
cell.
simple.
All right. good
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, I found the blank cell address instead of the chessboard address, and then I just manually went and
Eyeballed
looked.
it.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right, well done. So the challenge, the target has been set. I think that was bang on 5 minutes. Oh, sorry, it's up in the corner. 5:16.
All right.
That's what was remaining, Giles, yeah?
I should
No
have thought
idea.
of spending
I
time
assume that
myself. I
you
have
are
no
totally
clue.
in control of this, Alan. I'm here.
I think that was
What's
the
happening?
time
5:16
remaining. He's done
left.
it in under 5. You can relax now, Dim, and watch the others, although you're pretty
That
relaxed
sounds
already.
good.
Well done. Awesome. Awesome
guys.
work.
Okay, time to bring in our next contestant, I think.
Yeah.
So our next contestant to introduce is Chris Clarke from Manchester in the UK. And he was also a runner-up last year, but he was a runner-up of the Microsoft Excel World Championships. Welcome, Chris. How are you feeling about the battle today?
Yeah, excited if I can manage to download it.
that is an important
Okay.
step.
Well, your time has started. Go. I'm joking. Don't start the clock, guys. That was definitely a joke.
Make sure you've got it downloaded.
Yeah, just give me a minute. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's a slightly different format than normal, but we'll see how it goes.
Have
Normally
you-
takes me 10 minutes to get used to the case. So.
Have you tried this format before, Chris?
I did the last year's case as a practice, and that didn't do that well, so we'll see how this goes.
Awesome. How are you feeling, Chris? You ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Giles, I guess your turn to do the countdown, if you may.
Happy to. All right, Chris, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
I can't see anything at the moment. Hopefully
I
it'll
can,
come up
I,
soon.
can see, I can see a still of Chris's face. But what I can tell you is that Chris is currently doing things in a spreadsheet, and now we can see it. Fantastic. He's answered question 1. Question 2, you can see there.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, to be honest, the first 2 questions you can actually just eyeball and kind of type in manually, and then it does just step up a bit.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Okay, so we're on to question 4. Ready? Just as I was talking, it moved over.
Yep.
So we're looking for the symbol located in the very last cell on the board.
Yeah, and again, this is. Oh, to be fair, he just got that instantly. I was going to say that's a tricky one, but Chris is a pro. Question 4, and I thought question 7 were potential, trickier hurdles, and obviously question 12. So let's just see.
He's just going into a filter here. I don't think anyone's done that yet, but it's his first go at this kind of like new batch of questions. Like there's a group of about 4 or 5 questions here that are very kind of similar in a way. It's the first of them, so once he cracks this, he'll probably get for the others pretty quick.
Yeah, interesting approach with filter. So he's okay. At the very least, it's asked for column AA. So I think he's debating whether that's AA on the chessboard or Excel. He's picked the right answer, which is great. All right, so he's just got to go from this to actually returning the. Oh, to be fair, it's going to work. So he's got the reference range as the numbers on the grid. So yeah, nice. no adjustment needed. That's going to come straight out. Perfect.
Completely different approach so far there.
Yeah, really nice.
Now we're looking for the value of all points in the first row. You may remember from the previous contests, there's a following question for all points of the board.
Yeah, and it's a big jump again in difficulty just there, which highlights one of the kind of challenges with XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP will deal with the kind of spill array that comes from that one-dimensional, well, it's actually just taking in a one-dimensional range, but then in 7, it's not going to deal with a 2-dimensional input range. So you have to think through something like a map, or there's various other ways you could do that.
There's that entire range gone in.
You've also, sorry, there is another challenge which I think he's spotting, which is you've got the blank cell. So that blank cell forces you to then if you spot it, you can use one of the parameters you've got there. You can see it in the syntax. If not found, you could use that to get around that and just return a 0. Let's see what he does.
This is what it's up to here. I think a typical approach is to flatten the array here into a single row or a single column, and using a function like 2row or 2col, and then there is an argument in there to ignore empties.
Yeah, exactly. Because actually, in these questions, the positioning of what you have as like the calculation range or array doesn't matter. You just got to sum them all. So you just got to kind of work your way around the limitations of something like an XLOOKUP. Whether it's flattened or not, you're still going to get the right answer when you use your sum at the end.
It's just coming into a bit of a difficulty here. To keep track of what they're doing with all this speed and moving around the screen.
Well, I think he's hit that issue. So you can see he's on the row where there's a blank. And that's caused him some problems. So depending on whether, I mean, you could, as you said, you could actually use something like 2col or 2row to remove the blank issue. He's just found it. So he's just dealt with the blank. He's used one of the extra parameters for XLOOKUP. I think that's what he just did anyway. And let's see what, there you go. That's the answer. Okay, on to question 8, which I think again is a little bit easier.
Yeah, I expect him to get this super quick.
Yeah, so you can, what's he going to do? Is you can do an XLOOKUP, and you could just reference half of the points board for the chess pieces. Again, you just have to deal with the fact that you're going to get some return errors because you don't have a match for the black.
Doing exactly what you said at the moment, Giles.
Yeah, he's missed the M off his sum, but I think he'll spot that pretty quickly. There you go.
I think we've all been there, mate.
Oh yeah, daily.
Oh, yeah. Even someone like yourself. Yeah.
Oh, it took me a year to learn how to spell lambda, let alone learn what on earth it did.
Right, lost track of where we are. Question 9. How many white pawns anywhere on the board?
Yep.
Against use of a count. If done, now we're into our final 3. Now we're on that one empty cell.
He could almost eyeball that because he's had to find it. There you go. I think he will go down to the bottom and he will just eyeball where it was. But I think we're right in saying it's the cell address of the chessboard, not the Excel cell. So let's see, because you could potentially get to this kind of quickly with functions, but actually I think it might be one where eyeballing it's easier.
I guess if you've seen it, if you've stumbled across it,
then you should see it there. So what's he going to
say? There you go.
It looks like it's CH933, but that's not the answer. It's...
Okay, you also realise that real quick,
and it's the chess board reference, not the Excel reference. I reckon he'll spot that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I say that confidently when I'm not under the pressure that he's under, having just tried the first round of this year's World Championship and totally lost it under the pressure of time. So let's see what he does.
As I say, these contestants are, they're very used to this. There you go. This fast-paced environment, this live environment. So they probably handle the pressure, or no, probably they do handle the pressure a lot more than some like myself would in that situation.
And me. Question 11, I think he'll probably fly through. He's just got to count all the black pieces. And then it will be on to... I mean, so I think clearly he's not going to beat Dim because too much time has passed. But I think he could still get through all 12 questions.
Yeah, and that's an achievement in its own. If you can complete them, yeah. I mean, it's all an achievement, but that must feel pretty good if you can beat the game.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just having a little bit of issue on here. So this is question 11 still. This is how many black pieces are there on the board?
Sorted.
Okay.
We're into the final. Great. Yeah, I didn't see what he did, but he did it.
Neither did I, but I trust him. So again, I don't think anybody's going to try and do this in a single cell if they have spotted that you can use unprotected areas of the spreadsheet. So let's see where he goes off to the right.
He has a little over 2 minutes, so I'll be impressed if you can achieve this. I know Dim did it quite quickly, but I think Pieter had about 3 minutes maybe on this. I certainly wouldn't complete it in 3 minutes.
Interesting. So he's going over to filter first. So I don't know if he's going to try and filter by the white kings, which would be an unusual approach just from what we've seen so far.
Yes, I've got.
Do we have the whole range of the grid there?
I'm assuming that's not intentional, but what I know. It's got CV rather than CX. Here we go.
I didn't see what he was doing there. I'm just intrigued. I'm on the edge of my seat seeing what
Chris rather likes a filter function.
Yes. And it's great. It's an amazing function. It's just not one, with all my incredible battle experience that I would have thought to turn to on this.
So just under a minute remaining now.
Yeah, what we've kind of seen others do quite neatly is kind of almost get to 2 stages of the logical argument that you need. What is the item in the cell, and does it match a white king? And then is there a black queen surrounding that cell? And if both of those arguments are true, you'd be left with a 1. You can sum all the ones. That's going to get you the count of those positions. 30 seconds left. I think he might be up against it to get question 12, to be honest.
For sure.
And you can't use rand array here, Chris.
Worth a go. Approaching the final 10.
You could. You could. You could use rand array. You could just guess a number. All right, 3 seconds. Here we go.
It's time on Chris. How you feeling, Chris?
Yeah, not too bad. It wasn't ideal. My computer was running quite slow, so a couple of times it wasn't catching up with what I was trying to do. But
yeah, I saw a couple of typos in there that might have been that. I needed to quickly jump back. It was good though.
Yeah, it's fun. I have no idea how to do that last one. Certainly not with everything locked.
That is the tricky one, eh?
Yeah. But well done, Chris. That was top effort. Yeah. All right, Dim is still in the lead. There's one more person left, and it's the new Canadian world champion, the Jarmanator. Oh, sorry, it's British. It's British. New York Times got that wrong. Michael, how are you feeling? Michael, you there? Have we got you?
Certainly am.
Hey, how are you feeling? You prepared?
Pretty prepared. I'm thinking that I'm here about 5 minutes earlier than I was expecting. So, yeah, sounds like I've got a tough time and some tough scores to beat, but we'll see how I get on.
All right. Confident. I would expect nothing less from you. Alan, let's count them in.
Alrighty. So in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Down. All right. How quick? Oh, look at that. Half a second and first question's answered.
I don't know who got that first 2 questions the fastest.
Yeah.
That should be a tiebreaker if he does it in the same time as Dim.
Yeah, so he is absolutely flying through these questions. He's going to come up against a challenge. Okay, I think he's eyeballing it. He was going indirect, which potentially doesn't lead to the right answer because of the difference between the chessboard references on the grid and the Excel cell and column references, row and column references. He's found it. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go into the board questions.
Same challenge here. Do you look at column A?
X-Match, that's done.
That was great.
Yeah, X-Match is the way for that one.
Yeah.
He's the only contestant to have done that way, though, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Didn't move so fast.
He's gonna fly through question 6. It's the first row, points on all the first row. It's just an X lookup. And some, obviously, there you go. Question 7 is where it gets a bit trickier because you've got to get all the points from the board, and we've got that issue that we've talked about with X lookup.
Yeah, he's going to do that super fast. This is going to be close. He's approaching a minute 30 in, and he's already approaching the second half of this board.
Look at that. Okay.
Going to be a tight one, I think. It's all about that final question, isn't it? I expect him to go through this, based on his performance so far, pretty quick.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's flying through it. Okay, so it's just insane. All right, so you just got to keep an eye on the clock. I think Michael's going to finish. It's just whether he can do this in surely. So we talked about the clock, the times in the top right, Alan. Surely that is Dim finished that in 5 minutes 16 because the others finished it in 10 minutes, right? I'm misreading that.
I think well, that's counting down. I think he did it in under 5.
Really?
I think. Yeah.
Oh, well, added level of tension because neither of us know how to score this.
Yeah, neither of us know how to tell times.
Okay, good. What's he on? He's on level 9. So this is how many white pawns are there on the board?
I thought it was doing a new function, was that? Yeah. This is completely new from what I've seen so far. Approaches.
Oh, he's in 10. Sorry, okay, he's on question
10. He's got it. Okay, so 2 to go. We'll get this one pretty quick, and then it's going to have probably less than 2 minutes if he wants to compete with Dim on this final question.
Probably one of the most annoying things of this for everyone is that you can't use named ranges, so you can't just immediately plug a named range around the map. You have to keep referencing the whole 1,000 rows and 100 columns. It's not slowing him down that much, though. So he's on the final question. This is the slightly tricky one. So I think he's just going to take a second to figure this out. I'm going to guess he's also going to turn to a kind of helper grid on the side if he knows he can use the side.
Here we go. Yeah, he's got stuff in there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm ready.
So here you go. All right, so I wouldn't be surprised that he's going to use and logic. Is the cell that we're looking at the white king? And then I suspect he's going to do a counter ifs for that 3x3 range around that cell. And if both of those give you a true, you get the one that you want, and you just sum those all up.
There really is a special talent in these contests, isn't it? There's certain questions you guys know really well, the approach.
Yeah, when you say you guys, I know it because I've been looking at the case all day, and Elliot's been helping me, so I couldn't do this on the fly.
You've been competing. You've been in the action.
All right, so he's going to sum that grid up, and I suspect
this
means either way you read the clock,
tight.
I think it means he's going to win. Oh, he's got
to
the
get
wrong
his
answer there, so,
skates on. I think Tim had it in at 20 seconds from now. So I reckon that's how long he's got. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you reckon it was about 5:15 on the clock, didn't you? Or the other way around? Anyway, we'll find out. Someone will tell us. But at the moment, he's not done. So I feel he may be a bit late. But
yeah, I don't know what the issue was that he had. Okay, so maybe he just had the wrong 3x3 reference.
That time must be how long it took.
I couldn't see what was wrong with that. I thought the logic looked okay. Oh, he missed the equal. Okay, so it's greater than or equal to 1. That might be the difference, actually, in the second part of the argument. Let's see if that. Yes, that was it.
My goodness,
okay, depending on how you read the clock.
There is seconds in there.
Oh my god! 1 second. Michael.
You're going to kick yourself.
No, you're not.
That was amazing.
I did so many things wrong with the last question.
That's good. It's right. You're there, Michael, I think.
Yeah, you won.
The scoreboard's got you number 1.
Oh, I can't see the scoreboard. The Mills needs
Oh, you won.
I won by a second. Oh,
One by a
yeah.
second.
1 by a second.
Oh, it's
I
like
can't see
Vegas
anything.
all over again. I love
Oh, my lord. Oh.
we got so confused by basic things there.
it. We had no idea what was going on with the scoring. Well, how does it feel to be the world champion and the Global Excel Summit Ninja champion?
I mean, the belt was pretty good, but this is definitely, the biggest trophy in the cabinet. So, yeah. Oh, wow. Sorry, I've just been able to see the scoreboard now. That is insane. Absolute dominance there.
A lot can happen in a second, Michael. We all know this.
Yeah.
All right. Is it time to bring on all 4 players to see how Dim's feeling? Dim, you lost by a second. How does that feel?
It was extremely tense because I couldn't see the screen. I could just hear you guys talking.
Oh, that's terrible.
I was like, oh my God, it's going to be
Bless
so
you.
close, but we don't actually know is Dim at this time or at this time. And then I heard you say, oh my God, 1 second, he's going to be kicking himself. I was like, oh my God, I won.
Trying to figure out who it was.
Unintentional drama.
Very dramatic.
And that's what we're here for. This Excel community is just drama. Chris, any final thoughts from you? We should go around the room, I think.
No, it's actually insane how fast they've done it.
Pretty crazy. Peter, how about you? How'd you feel?
I felt pretty good after I went off screen. I realized Andrew's blank cell caught me in that last question, because when I double clicked the formulas to copy down that upper sheet, it stopped at that row. And if I, but that's what happens. There's always that one thing that catches you.
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, there aren't that many people that can do this at all. So, kudos to all of you for doing what you did. Final word from Michael, superstar, TikTok legend, the most lit guy in the Excel community. How does it feel to add another title to your cabinet?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna run out of space in the business card soon. No, yeah, it's great. It was a fun case, actually. Very much a difficulty spike at the end, which I think obviously I'll watch Peter and Chris back, but I imagine they very much sort of got by that last question. It was quite tough, but yeah, no, it was good fun.
Awesome.
Alan, any final comments from you as we wrap this up? It's been a pleasure.
Well, It has been a pleasure. I feel a little bit embarrassed by our performance in recognising time, Giles, really. If you didn't feel humble enough, that will humble you.
Don't be embarrassed.
Yeah, well played to everybody. It's all, I was really impressed by performances. And Giles, you let people know where they can find out about future events and stuff?
Yeah, so we've got the whole kind of battle series going on. Have a look at the FMWC website. There's two main competitions, the Financial Modelling World Cup, the Excel Esports World Championship. You've also got all the amazing stuff going on with the Microsoft Excel Collegiate Championship, which David Brown does such a good job with. We have just launched the UK chapter of this competition. I can't go through this without mentioning that. So have a look at fmwc.uk. For any Brits out there, if you're resident in the UK, you can compete. We've got live finals in September in London. We will put the winner on a plane and we'll put you up in Vegas to take a spot on the second day of that competition for the Worlds in December. And it is an absolute experience. So UK Excel nerds, it's your time to shine. Come on. Alan, where can people find you? What are you doing these days?
Me, I'm doing what I always do. Computer Gaga is the name. Come and find me anywhere from YouTube to blogging and elsewhere. And Giles, I guess we'll find you in the battle rooms, eh?
You will. I mean, well, yeah, somewhere down the bottom of the leaderboard. I'll be there. But you got to be in it to win it. So thank you everyone for watching. I think we're going to leave with a short video. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Alan. Happy excelling, everyone.
Thank you, Giles. Cheers, everyone.